schools in the district. Whoever wants to start.
Do you want me to start since I'm the one who tries to
Go
build
ahead.
bridges all the time? Well, to build bridges in school, for me, when we moved here and I decided to devote myself to the Ferndale public school system, there was a lot of different things that I did. The one was throwing my support behind the FDA and helping to set up, and organize the booth that ran on the DIY Festival last summer so that we could talk to parents from the whole community about what goes on at the Roosevelt schools, and we taught them how to do like a 7-strand braid. It was fabulous. And then when my grant ended in Detroit, what I did was I subbed. And that was a way for me to build bridges because I met secretaries at every single school. I met teachers at every single school. I know kids by name at every school. And I like to tap into that. And when I go to events with one person, I may bring another person. And I like to think that I do force people that wouldn't cross paths to cross paths more often. And I think that it enriches everyone. So that's what I've done.
I've crossed the bridges. I don't know that I've built as many bridges as Nan has necessarily. I do talk a lot in terms of, especially with young people, maybe my bridges are more into the community because there are a lot of young families that are really unsure about our schools. And when they find out that you're a parent in the school, a lot of times they ask you, well, what do you think? Do your kids go to the Ferndale schools? Are you going to keep your kids in the Ferndale schools? What's your opinion? And I find myself always talking about all of our schools and all of the positive things that they have going on. I know that usually I'm talking to people about elementary, and there's been this war between the elementary schools that's been going on. And Nan and I are trying to show that no, there's not. This doesn't need to exist, that we can work together and we attend, some of the functions that are multi-school functions. And, I think that's what I do in terms of building bridges and just letting people know how wonderful all of our elementary schools are, how wonderful our middle school is, how great our high school is, and spreading the word that way.
Conversations with people and families to talk about the programs, encourage them to find out about the other programs before making decisions on leaving the district. As a board member, we've encouraged the administration with the ambassadors. We think that's a great thing. And we encourage the district to hold school activities to mix things up, and it's really conversation, word of mouth, and support for these events, and it's support for parents, at the elementary level, like Christy and Nan, to continue that conversation.
Some of the things I guess I would say that I've done and helped to do, I can't say I've done them all because obviously it takes a good team on the whole board to accomplish a lot of these activities. But one is to build a bridge, and people are talking, I know it was mentioned by Christy about a battle between like Roosevelt and Kennedy. I think one of the things was to help establish part of the open at Roosevelt to give that school some more experience in what goes on in that program. And having the multi-age over at Kennedy, I think, helps to build that bridge between those schools. I think having our restructuring built a lot of bridges because it brought a lot of kids together at the earliest levels that we could possibly bring them together and give them the best resources they can possibly have. Another one was when Gary Meyer came to us and he asked us about having these meetings with younger families, younger parents in the district, and talked to us about it and what we think he should be doing with that. We encouraged him to go ahead and do that. We encouraged him because he wanted to find out more about the parents because we're elected, so people usually know us in the neighborhood. He was basically not elected, but we brought him on, we hired him. People didn't know him all that well. he felt it would be good because, one, starting off when you're restructuring all the schools as a new superintendent doesn't always bring you a lot of friends. But he had a chance to go out and meet with the parents. He asked us to step back a little bit, let him meet with the parents so they knew who he was, not so much who we are, and let him get a feeling for what's going on to help build some of those bridges, and so we did that with him also. Let's see, I think that kind of covers a lot of building bridges between schools. I guess part of it is also at the stage crew between middle school and high school. I get a lot of middle school students and parents that come in that want to experience the theater and experience the stage crew construction and learn how to use tools. We try to build that bridge to have them come in and work on the high school theater programs and build that togetherness so that they aren't all by themselves.
Thank you. The next question is for all of you. It says, briefly describe the school district's greatest weakness and the best approach to improve this weakness.
I think you go first.
Make me
You're in the camera right now. I don't have to move it.
Okay, would you read the question again? I'll be happy to go first. My wife has told me I have to go first.
I don't want to move the
I
camera.
always listen to my wife.
Briefly describe, the word is briefly, describe the school district's greatest weakness and the best approach to improve this weakness.
What is our greatest weakness? I like to, obviously one thing I've always done in this district is try to focus on the positive, not the negative of our districts. And basically I look at weaknesses. If there's any weakness I can find at all, it's one of finances, that we don't have enough finances still to do all the programs that we want to do. We have to find more money. We have to find ways to do that, ways to be more effective with the resources that we have. And that is a weakness for us. We need to do that. We don't have the $20 million in our general fund that some districts have. That does present a weakness to us. But we are trying our best to raise revenues, to have programs that are successful. So I like to think of it more as, what do we have positive going here? And we have increased MEP scores. We have the enrollment basically at a steady state now, which is helping us substantially. We have a lot of good programs going on, a lot of good activities going on in this district. I've heard even our opponents basically said that we have great schools, we have great programs, we have good financial stuff. That's come from what we've helped to build. I want to see that building continue, and I hope it does continue. Whether we're elected or we're not elected, I hope it continues. It has to continue. And I think having the experience there helps that to continue in a much more effective manner. So.
I think we had a lot more weakness when our children first started in the district. I think we had a bigger financial weakness. We had score issues, achievement issues, and we had equity issues. And I think we've done a lot of things to improve those things. And like Chuck, we like to think about the positive and work on the positive. And we are working on all of them. We're making headway on all of them. Achievement is up. So the greatest weakness is still funding. It is still an issue we have to work with the state on. There's a lot of things at the state level that need to be addressed, and we need to continue to work with them to solve problems, not with shell games, but with actual substantial funding that we can count on from year to year. And we are working hard to bring in money from other sources, as Chuck said before, and improve and shore up that weakness, and it is going to continue to be an issue in the coming years.
Okay, I mean, obviously I would defer to their expertise in knowing what is going, that the finances are about to go awry. For me, instantly what came to my head though, when that question was asked was, it's our greatest weakness.